Morning, we're going to discuss about the Python for data analytics. So as I've said, we're going to use Python for this class. So last week you have learned, I think it is better to check randomly, your assignment. So check on the assignment yung class, So let's review for your assignment. So the question is, which of the top 10 analytics tools have you used? To which particular analytics projects you have applied this analytics tool or tools? And the second question, why Python and R programming are widely used as analytic tools? And number 3, discuss what is W, its uses and advantages to other analytic tools. So as of now, there are 41 of you who submitted the assignment. So that means to say, out of 50 participants, or let's say 49 participants, may era nga walong wala nakasubmit. Okay, so let's view. So we'll randomly pick up the answer from your classmate. Ano yung kita anon diri ang mga wala sang assignment? Joanna Ibsalodes, Rupert Kainan Tolosa, wala assignment. Ari, si Miss Anseno. So, draft pa lang na submit mo. You have to submit this one. Not submitted pa, draft pa lang status. Okay? Kung ara dira si Miss Hasino. Ansino. Ang assignment, si Patrick Perote. Draft pa man ang submit ni Miss Parayko. So, you have to submit that one. Well, assignment, Hadulos. Selva, wala man. Draft pa lang na submit ni Studio. So, you have to submit that one. Okay. So, randomly, we will pick up the answer from your classmate. So, check tanimbi ang link kay Batuegas. So, ang nagamit nyo pa lang, ang answer to the first question ni Mr. John Ray Batuegas, ang Microsoft Excel. I'll use the Microsoft Excel to create a graph or any calculation by putting the formula on the cell, and in creating list of names, data, dates, personal information, monetary information, etc. Apply these analytic tools in Inspero as a tech support engineer 1. So, sigurado na nagamit na ni. So, the question actually is kung ano ang nanagamit nyo na. Okay, so why Python and R programming are widely used? Because Python and R programming are a powerful tool to help you maximize your data reporting instead of using programming languages through a separate development tool like RStudio or Jupyter Notebooks. You can integrate R straight into your analytics stack, allowing you to predict critical business outcomes, create interactive dashboards using practical statistics, and easily build statistical models. Integrating R and Python means advanced analytics can happen faster with accurate, up-to-date data. So what is Tableau, or discuss what is Tableau? Tableau is powerful and fastest growing data visualization tool used in business intelligence industry. It helps simplify raw data in very easily understandable format. The Tableau helps create data that can be understood by professionals at any level in an organization. It also allows non-technical users to create customized dashboards. So, amo na yan sabat ni Batuegas, na? So, tama man. Hindi lang ko di-agree sa iya sabat number 1, no? Kaya ba ko tani kung ano na ang nagamit niya. And true to Python and R programming, so widely used siya, kay ma-customize mo siya actually, no? There are analytic tools na drag and drop na lang. Okay? But here, Python and R programming are more flexible. Kay, syempre, pwede ka pa ka-program at the same time, open source siya and it has damo siyang mga libraries na pwede magamit. Okay? So, ang Tableau naman is, of course, ang Tableau, kung baga, it is a software already, Abby, ang Tableau. Okay? So, visualization tool siya for business intelligence and industry. So, usually, ang Tableau, kung baga daw may software ka na yung ginagamit. Whereas sa Python, yan our programming, kung baga daw platform, ini siya. Okay? Nga pwede mo gamitan sa lain nga libraries to work with this one. So, programming, no, Python programming and R programming, usually the basic, kung baga basic ni siya nga mga nga foundation or basic gid siya nga kung baga customizable kay programming language ni siya mo partner with different library. Ang libraries naman that we are going to use for data analytics is the purpose for kung baga ang purpose ng mga libraries kadamo libraries nga can work with Python and R programming. Okay? But for this subject, we're going to use Python and we will be using different libraries nga pang data analytics siya. Okay? So, mapik pa kita isa si kay Ganson de. Miss Ganson, are you present? Wala. Hindi na ito nga ito na-download. Ganson. Iyan naman sa Microsoft Excel for building reports, complement Whiteboard chart, and can also use together with visual data and create AC to use dashboards. It also allows you to display analyze result. Actually, third person, bigyan na pa copy, paste nyo, class mo. It is very obvious kung copy, paste mo lang. Pero if it is your own word, I can really know, no? Balaan ko gitna. Pwede mo man amambal nga, I use Microsoft Excel to build blah, blah, blah in my previous class, no, with IT 123, we created this chart and blah, 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 blah. So, basically, it can be used so, mabalaan tagid, no? Kung i-copy-paste nyo, it allows. So, it is a third person. So, i-mantayan nyo na class ang inyong ano, especially kung may easy type. It is easy for me to catch you kung kinaka-paste nyo lang. Python and R programming are widely used as analytic tools because it is powerful language that can be provide wide range of numerical computation, data analytics, and machine learning. Yes, that's correct. It is also open source and it can be and can have an opportunity to Python community and packages that can be used for data analytics. Yes, open siya. That's why damo nga interest no nga they can create their own library nga the product of the research na ma-incorporate man sa Python, no? Tableau is a data visualization software used for data science and business intelligence. Yeah, correct. Tableau can use translate queries to visualization and import all ranges and sizes of data. Yes. Tableau advantages to other analytics tools are Tableau can deliver interactive dashboard that support insights. So, kung baga ang Tableau na iyang adaan class, it's a software, siling ko na gani. So, you can really visualize, need mo lang ang i-input ang data. But, as you know, data are, kung baga, ang data class na ginaisip natin, in form of reports, tables, those are structured data. But there are unstructured data, like for example, multimedia data, like video, audio, texts, no? Text or let's say mga ano kay tawag ni? articles. So, those are unstructured data. So, kung i-feed mo na sa Tableau, basically, hindi siya hindi ma-understand sa Tableau. But with the Python and programming, because it supports customization, pwede mo partner ang Python together with sa natural language processing or other visualization tool, no, or other programming language for you to be able to paano mo ma-program, no, or ma-analyze mo ang data nga unstructured. Okay, usually amo nang kinalain niya kung baga si Excel yat, syempre ang Excel it has its own limitations man, pero Python and R very wide ang application. Tableau as well. So, the data nga ma-input ka na lang dira. There is a programming behind that. Kumaga ang Tableau, let's say ang Tableau is already a software and nagagana siya, it's because it has already, kumbaga na program na siya to work that way. That's why, bisan mo na kasing programming skills, as long as may data ikaw, so you can input and you can visualize already. Pero hindi siya customizable and friendly siya sa hindi ka blumong program. Okay? So, amo na siya class. So, any question so far, no, about sa aton nga gina-discuss ni ma'am yung nakuan nga about your assignment? So, if you are still curious, class, you can really, you can really search online about Tableau, no? Kung ano ang iyaya pwede nyo magabitan. So, kung baga daw ready to use na iya siya. Okay, so ma-present si ma'am nyo sang in is a window. Okay, so now we will have to discuss a short of Python for data analytics because our discussion from now on we will be revolving on Python. Okay, so why Python for data analysis? So for many people, the Python programming language has strong appeal. Yeah, that's true. Since its first appearance in 1991, Python has become one of the most popular interpreted programming language, along with Perl, Ruby, and others. So ang natudlo iya sa ato sa eskwelahan, usually Java, C, C#, C++. Amon sa una, Visual Basic. Wala masyado ginintroduce sa ato ng Perl, Ruby, and Python. And only this time I also appreciate Python, no? Kaya dadamo siya ikata magamitan, especially machine learning, kag damo pang application, no? Pero kung system nga simple ang imo gina-create, then kung mga info system lang, Java and C, no? And Visual Basic or Visual Studio.net. So very siya, kung baga those languages are simple for creating a application like mga information system or info system lang. Whereas kung Python ka naman, it mo for computing purposes gid inaabi siya ang Python. When we say computing purposes, kung baga we have an input data and we have the process and we have the output, no? Halimbawa, matian nyo na ang machine learning, AI, no? Deep learning, neural network. So, usually Python ang ginagamit natin. Python and Ruby have become especially popular in 2005 or so for building website using their numerous web frameworks like Rails, Ruby, and Django, and Python. So such language are often called scripting language as they can be used to quickly write small programs or script to automate other tasks. Ano ba niya? I don't like the term. Ang gikuan ko sinigali class, he is the author of the book and author man siya sang damo nga libraries nga ginagamit sa data for data analysis, no? Okay, among interpreted languages for various historical and cultural reasons, Python has developed a large and active scientific computing and data analysis community. So in the last 10 years, Python has gone from a bleeding edge or at your own risk scientific computing language to one of the most important languages for data science, machine learning, and other software development in academia and industry. So you know why class nga muna, syempre, Python is an open source, no? And Python also, dasig siya nag-change and there are always new things about sa Python, no? Kumbaga, dasig man siya mag progress, like for example, sa una daw, Python 1 point something, until now, there is a Python 3 point something, kumaga nag-upgrade. So, if nag-program ka pa sa una, sang Python nga 2 pa lang yung gamit mo, then subong 3 point something na. So, obsolete na. So, you have to upgrade, and amo na siya ang kisang hindi ko na namian kay damo kay nag-install, no? Nagdamo siya din error. Dayon, ayaw ko naman dayon pinang-install bago or upgrade. Dasig sa naga-change. Okay? So for data analysis and interactive computing and data visualization, Python will inevitably draw a comparison with other open source and commercial programming languages and tools with wide use such as R, MATLAB, SAS, Stata, and others. So MATLAB, syempre wala mong gamit MATLAB kay may bayad ang MATLAB, abi, no? And SAS also, iyan ni ka IBM. Ang R, usually ginagamit man ni siya daw kung baga da pareho ni sila sang Python ang R, but for me mas wide pagyapon ang gamit sang Python kumpara sa R, so that's why I introduce Python. In recent years, Python's improved support for libraries such as pandas and scikit-learn has made it popular choice for data analysis tasks because pandas and scikit-learn are libraries for data analysis. Combined with Python, overall strength for general purpose software engineering, it is excellent option as a primary language for building data applications. Okay. So while Python is an excellent environment for building many kinds of analytic applications and in general purpose system, there are a number of uses for which Python may be less suitable. So as Python is an interpreted programming language, in general, most Python code will run substantially slower than code written in compiled language like Java or C++. So as programmer, time is often more valuable than CPU time. Many are happy to make this trade-off. So however, in application with very low latency or demanding source utilization requirements, the time spent programming in a lower level but also lower productivity, language like C++ to achieve the maximum possible performance might be time well spent. No? Dahil lang yung class Lakwa ba si mga sulod ang baby? Sinaban. Okay, so Python can be challenging language for building highly concurrent multi-threaded application. So particularly applications with many CPU-bound threads. So the reason for this is that it has what is known as the Global Interpreter Lock, or GIL, a mechanism that prevents the interpreter from executing more than one Python instruction at a time. So the technical reason for why GIL exists are beyond the scope. Wala ko na erase na. While this is true that many big data processing application, a cluster of computer may require to process datasets reasonable amount of time, there are still situations where a single process multi-threaded system is desirable. So, usually class, ang Python nag-require sa sang high CPU or GPU requirements. And sometimes amo na siya nga gambal sila nga If you are doing machine learning or other program, medyo amo na gina-consider mo ang performance, ang capabilities ang imong ano ba tawag ni computer. Okay? Kung magadasig siya magkaon sang aton nga processor and ano. So ang Java ya hindi masyado mo na iyang requirements. So lain ang gamit sang Python, no? So this is not to say that Python cannot execute truly multi-threaded parallel code. So Python C extension that has a native multi-threading in C plus C or C++ can run code in parallel without being impacted by the GIL. So may ara siya nga global interpreter lock. Okay? So buot silingon, the medyo hindi siya makaran sang multi-threaded or kung sa if you're talking about sa CPU, ang multi-threading is na simultaneous dungan nga processing, parallel processing. Okay? So usually kung sa mag-cloud abi na multi-threaded ina siya or parallel kay syempre ang download and upload nga capacity niya is damo dungan sa simultaneous siya. Okay? So as long as they do not need to regularly interact with Python objects. Okay, so can you, before we proceed sa essential Python libraries class, may I know kung who among you here nakatry gamit sang Python? May ara ka mong ano class? Nakatry ka mo gamit sang Python? Wala, ma'am. Nakabudlay.
Wala, ma'am.
Actually, ang Python class is, kumbaga, you can study Python in W3 schools, the basic of it, no? Kaya syempre nga atong klase daan, it's more on data analytics ng Python ang gamiton. Mahambal kung we will not be expert, no? Well, tapos ang klase naton, pero hindi kita manol, no? Kumbaga, hindi man ni makaya nga sa isang semester nga as in makabalugid ka mo dayon, but ang learning class will take place kung you yourself, no, ma-study ka mo. Because I will just be introducing to you the terms, the libraries, and we'll have a short exercises, but syempre hindi ka mo na maging eksperto kung hindi nyo pagtunan, hindi ka mo mag-practice. Okay? So, whatever I say here, you have to be curious enough to search that online and to read. Okay? Ang naton agreement. Kay because syempre ang atong klase daan, actually our class is non-lab. So buot silingon wala kita supposed sang laboratory, but I try to incorporate sort of laboratory or sort of dapat may ara siya nga hands-on somehow kamo. It's because nga nga ang background nyo lang is Excel. Okay? So an Excel is not competitive. Okay, so you have to learn something. Okay, so i-try na to, no? Sa W3 schools na lang kita makadto. Python, machine learning. Actually, may mga Python, machine learning, mandirigani. But, you will just try to study Python only, no? Basic. So, itunan nyo lang ang Python class. Because in Python, dira nyo ma-learn, no? Basic syntax niya. Paano mag-comment, anong variable, data type, paano create data type. Okay? So, to list. Usually, ang importante man lang, no, nga gina-apply naton sa analytics is ang list. ang tuples sets mga muna kay we will be more focusing on array. So dapat kabalo kita na. Okay, so gin-share ko sa inyo class ang W3 schools nga Python. Okay, so Python essential libraries for data analysis. Ang NumPy, you can search that or you can read about NumPy in numpy.org. So NumPy, short for numerical Python, has long been a cornerstone of numerical computing in Python. It provides the data structures, algorithm, and library glue needed for most specific application involving numerical data in Python. So NumPy contains, among other things, so a fast and efficient multidimensional array, object and array, function for performing element-wise computation with arrays or mathematical operations between arrays. So tools for reading and writing array-based datasets to disk, linear algebra operation for near transform and random number generation. So a mature C API to enable Python extension and native C or C++ code to access NumPy's data structure and computational facilities. So, kung sa lingon class, ang NumPy class or numerical Python will most, kung baga-amo ni siya ang more focus sa data analysis sa array manipulation. Okay? So, ang imo sina nga program, import NumPy as NP. Okay. So, buot silingon, tawgon mo or itawgon mo ang NumPy nga library before ka mag-code about sa mga manipulation sa mga arrays or in array objects. So, buot silingon class without kumbaga ang Python has its own basic manipulation of list and as well arrays. May arami siya mga tuples, sets, but hindi siya magana no for data analysis because we have a huge data or big data for numerical values nga mga arrays. So that means to say class, if we convert this one into like for example sa Excel B. Sa Excel, isa ka cell naton or damo nga mga columns or rows contains of values nga of n number or n array. Say for example, numerical value. Ang pag-manipulate na iya, syempre kisa ginakuha ta average, summation, mga kuha ta maximum, ano pagid nga mga functions or formula pwede ito obrahon. So sa equivalent naman niya klaseng Python, so we can use NumPy library to manipulate no sang aton nga data or datasets, numerical datasets. Okay, so another one is pandas. So pandas provide high-level data structure and function designed to make working with structured or tabular data fast, easy, and expressive. Since it's emerged in 2010, it has helped enable Python to be powerful and productive data analysis environment. The primary objects in pandas that will be used in this class are data frame, a tabular column-oriented data structure with both row and column labels, and a series, one-dimensional labeled array objects. So, ang pandas naman niya class, ginagamitan naton siya sang data frame. Ginagamit naton siya as support or as library for data frame. So, ano ba silingon? With pandas, we can create a table. Okay? Columns, rows and columns with data frame. So, buot silingon, kung ang NumPy, we can manipulate the array, no? Or an array, syempre series of numbers lang ina siya. With pandas, we can already create a data frame or table. Okay? So Pandas blends the high-performance array computing ideas of NumPy with flexible data manipulation capabilities of spreadsheets, no? Just like Excel, siling ko kay ina, and relational database or SQL. So if we can represent the data like array and in rows and column, it is easy for us to get, say for example, ang iyang ano yung maximum, average, and other possible no, gina-apply naton. So it provides sophisticated indexing functionalities to make it easy to reshape, slice, and dice, perform aggregation, and select a subset of data. So since the data manipulation, preparation, and cleaning is such important skill in data analysis, Pandas is one of the primary focus. Yes, in this book. So, ang atong gali class nga libro nga ginagamit is Python for Data Analysis second edition. Okay? So, ara man na siya sa nakabutang sa inyo nga syllabus. Okay? You can really visit the VLA and check on the syllabus. I also give there the examples. The reference. Okay, another library is Matplotlib. No, it's the most popular Python library for producing plots and other dimensional data visualization. So, kung baga class, in Excel, this is an equivalent of chart. Kung ang NumPy, ang Pandas, manipulation ang NumPy, no, and we can create a table for using Pandas. And Matplotlib, we can have the visualization or data visualization equivalent sa aton nga pie chart, bar chart, line chart, no, sa Excel. So it was originally created by John Hunter and now maintained by a large team of developers, and it has designed for creating plots suitable for publication. Okay, so hindi ka kung baga ang ma-import ka anay sa Matplotlib if you are to visualize the data. Okay. While there are other visualization libraries available to Python programmers, Matplotlib is the most widely used and such has generally good integration with the rest of the ecosystem. So I think it is the safe choice as a default visualization tool. Yes, no? Usually Matplotlib ginagamit nila partner with Python, no? Mas ang pinaka-ano nga library. Unless, no, may mga iban ka pa yung mga applications na binigamiton. And IPython and Jupyter. Okay, before we proceed, class, any question? May pamangko? Wala man? Wala man ah. Okay. So, IPython project began in 2010. So, as you observe, class, ang Python niya, kag ang mga libraries for data analysis, nag-start siya very early pa man, no? Kumbaga, hindi siya parehas ang una sa iban nga mga libraries or, ang iban nga mga programming languages nga nag-start sa mga 19 past pa, no? Mga pila pa years. Ang kay na uso class ang data analysis or data analytics, recent man ni siya mo. So, kumbaga mga libraries nga discover bago man. So, IPython began in 2001 as Fernando Perez side project to make a better interactive Python interpreter. So, in the subsequent 16 years, it has become one of the most important tool in modern Python data stack. While it does not provide any computational or data analytics tools by itself, IPython is designed from the ground up to maximize your productivity in both interactive computing and software development. So, ano na siyang IPython? So, actually, this is a project. Pero ano ang project niya? Jupyter Notebook. It encourages the execute, explore workflow instead of the typical edit, compile, run workflow of many other programming languages. It also provides easy access to your operating system, shell, and file system. Since much of the data analysis coding involves exploration, trial and error, and iteration, IPython can help you get the job done faster. So in 2014, Fernando and the IPython team announced the Jupyter project as a broader initiative to design language agnostic interactive computing tools. I think this is the agnostic. No? The IPython web notebook became the Jupyter notebook with the support now of 40 programming languages. The IPython system can now use as a kernel, a programming language mode for using Python with Jupyter. So IPython itself has become a component of much broader Jupyter open source project, which provides a productive environment for interactive and exploratory computing. So actually, class, ni siya ang IPython or let's say now, it is very common, the common term nga ginagamit is Jupyter Notebook. It is a notebook, class. Maganda kung may compiler na siya. Dito ka pwede ka maka-program sa imong Python. And i-introduce ko na later sa inyo karon. Another library is SciPy, no? Is a collection of package addressing a number of different standard problem domain in specific computing. Here is a sampling of package included, no? SciPy integrate a numerical integration routine and difference equation solver. SciPy lineal G, okay? Linear algebra routine and matrix composition extending beyond those provided by NumPy. And SciPy optimize, function optimizer, and route finding algorithm. So SciPy signal processing tool. So SciPy sparse matrices and sparse linear system solver. SciPy special, wrapper around SpecFun, Fortran library implementing many common mathematical functions such as gamma function. SciPy stats, standard continuous and discrete probability distribution, various statistical tests, and more descriptive statistic. So together with NumPy and SciPy, form a reasonably complete and mature computational foundation for many traditional scientific computing applications. So, actually, I'm not really familiar sa SciPy, no? But it is partnered with, kumbaga, sa NumPy. So, buot silingon, SciPy could be a manipulation library for arrays also. And another one is scikit-learn. So since the project inception in 2010, scikit-learn has become the premier general purpose machine learning toolkit for Python programmers. Kumbaga, if you are into machine learning, so you will probably encounter scikit-learn as library, no? In just 7 years, it has had over 1,500 contributors from around the world, and it includes submodules such models as classification. So if we're talking about machine learning, there are different approaches for the machine learning, no? And machine learning techniques, for example, classification, regression, clustering, dimensionality reduction, model selection, and pre-processing. Those are the techniques or ginagamit sa machine learning. So SMB, nearest neighbors, random forest, logistic regression, etc. Regression, lasso, ridge regression, etc. So damo regression, linear regression, diagnostic regression, and others. Clustering, k-means, fractal clustering, etc. So basically, class, so if in machine learning, we will be using scikit-learn library. Kay it has support, it support mga machine learning toolkit. And another one is stat models. So stat model is a statistical analysis package that was seeded by the work from Stanford University statistics professor Jonathan Taylor, who implemented a number of regression analysis model popular in our programming language. So Skipper, Siebold, and Joseph Berthold formally created the new Stats Models project in 2010, and since then have grown the project to critical mass of engaged users and contributors. So Nathaniel Smith developed the PATSI project, which provides a formula for model specification framework for stat models inspired by our formula system. So compared to scikit-learn, and stat models contain algorithm for classical statistics and econometrics. This includes such submodules for regression models, ANOVA or analysis of variance, time series analysis, non-parametric models, visualization of statistical model result. So stat models are more focused on statistical inference, providing uncertainty estimates and p-values for parameters. Scikit-learn, by contrast, is more prediction-focused. So about silingon, you can use stats models together with scikit-learn. Pero if we're talking about mga sa statistics, so ANOVA, regression time series, so depende sa inyo kung anong gamitin nyo because we can say na ANOVA or let's say analysis of variance is available in stat models as well as time series, but it is not available in scikit-learn. So we can use dito of this kahit available man siya sa Python as library. Okay? So, do I make sense, class? Or naintindihan niyo ako, ang ako nga ginawa kalde? Okay, hatagin niyo ko sa example. Ano ang aton nga library if we want to visualize a data? Ano na siya? Ano nga library? Wala ka pamati, wala na catch up. Wala may nawidan, class? Pabasi sa ara sa chat, be? Why good ta? Sige si ma'am. Okay, ang gamiton naton class is ang matplotlib. Because this library is for data visualization. So, ang hambal ko gani, balik kita, review kita gamay. Ang NumPy, we will be using this library if we will be processing sang mga array. And most of the time, ang aton data class is represented by array. Okay? So, kung baga numbers, and pandas, ang purpose ng panda naman is for data frame, no? With pandas, we can create tables. Kaya nag-represent ni siya sang row and column. Ang matplotlib, for visualization. But silingon, makahatag ni siya sa aton sang plots, sang ano pagid, sang graphs. So, pwede man lain-lain nga graphs class, no? May line graph, bar graph, and other, no? Depende sa need naton. Matplotlib na. Ang Jupyter Notebook naman, it will be used as our compiler. Dira kita naga-program. Kung baga, kung sa Java pa, we write our programs, for example, sa Eclipse or anong Visual, ano nang isa, ang pinaka-common, Visual Studio, ano na? And damo ka compiler. But here in Python, we will be using Jupyter Notebook. Kahit hindi lang kita pwede magamit sang purely nga class nga kumbaga may iban man mo nga halimbawa PyCharm, okay? That is also an editor for Python, no? A compiler as well. But because we will be using libraries, so ang visualization tool ang ginagamit is Jupyter Notebook. Okay? Ang SciPy naman niya class, so syempre, pwede ni siya i-partner together with NumPy. Ang scikit-learn is for machine learning. It is a machine learning toolkit. So if we are creating a model or if we are doing classification, regression, clustering, dimensionality reduction, model selection, nga mga methodology for data analysis applied in machine learning, scikit-learn aton gamiton. Asat models naman, this is for regression model, ANOVA, time series, parametric models, visualization, statistical model results. So, amo na siya ang mga different libraries. Actually, this will be the end of my presentation, no? And we will have the installation of the Jupyter Notebook and Anaconda, no? Any question, class, before we end our presentation for the introduction of Python for data analytics?
None, ma'am.
Okay, so far, no, I hope you learned something. I know these are the new terms, but if you read online or if you download, no, sa aton nga reference, you will understand. And if you immerse yourself in studying Python for analytics, then hapos actually class kumbaga hindi man kinanglan eksperto kamo nga mag-study sini, no? It is just about your curiosity and willingness to learn. Okay, if you have no question, let's move to another topic. Sorry. So I have a very black and white presentation. Wala ko mabatangan sang layout, sang background. In a way, simple, no? Our next topic is installation and setup of Anaconda and use of Google Colab Jupyter Notebook. Okay, so for the PC and laptop users, you can follow the instruction nakon nga mag-install sang Anaconda. Anaconda is a platform. Okay? So, pwede ka mo if you are using laptop or PC nga mag-install sang Anaconda. Okay? But if you are using mobile phone, Google Colab lang gamiton naton. Because there will be no, kumbaga, ang Google Colab with Jupyter Notebook, mag-code ka lang direkta. You don't need to install a platform. You will be using your phone only. Okay, so for those who are using laptop, you can follow or PC, you can follow this installation and set up step by step. Okay, actually hindi man gyud siya mo step by step, no. Shortcut man si ma'am. Anyway, I think I have to change. Stop sharing lang. I will be sharing the whole or entire screen for you to be able to see sang iban nga part na. Sang inog-install ta karon. Entire window. Okay, so for the installation and setup of Anaconda, for PC or laptop users, you can download and install Anaconda, no? Ano ang link? So you can search here. Okay, online. Type lang nato, no, direkta. Anaconda. Platform. So individual edition lang kita class because it's free. Okay? So as sort of introduction, no, kung ano ang Anaconda. Ano gid man bilang Anaconda? Anaconda actually class is a platform. Okay? So, individual edition.
Made from Python man sa ma'am, di ba?
Yes, yes. Anaconda class is ang platform nga ginagamit naton for Python, and this is basically for data analysis. That's why nga Anaconda aton gamitan. Okay? So, isan ko sa inyo ang aton nga link. So, you can download from there. Sige, nagli kay Herbert, no? Okay, so hambal niya, introduction lang ha. With over 25 million users worldwide, open source individual edition distribution is the easiest way to perform Python or R data science and machine learning in single machine. So developed for solo practitioner, it is a toolkit that equip you to work with thousands of open source packages and libraries. Okay. So may ara na siya class nga kumbaga, isa ka mga features ng Anaconda is it's an open source. Individual edition, ini siya class sabot silingon, it's for free. May ari ka na mga enterprise kag tong isa nga need for subscription. So, Conda packages. So, Conda packages as well, no? Ang yun ang pang-mention, tato kaina nga mga packages like Matplotlib, NumPy, Pandas, Scikit-learn, SciPy, ano pa to? Pwede to siya na-install naton, or it can be installed in Anaconda platform nga i-host niya na tanan. Okay? And of course, manage environment, so you can create your own environment as well for your own programming now. So ano brown naton? Syempre, you are going to download for Windows Edition. Okay? So if you are now in front of your PC and laptop, you can download and you can install. So, there are different packages, no? Or libraries. Like, for example, kung na-install mo na ang Anaconda, you can access Jupyter, SciPy, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, PyTorch, TensorFlow, Namba, Dask, Scikit-learn. So all of this is already present in Anaconda platform. So buot silingon, hindi ka na budlayan sa ka-integrate isa-isa, no? If you already installed the Anaconda. So open source. So after installing class, okay, so kung na-download mo na, then you are going to start. So, depende kung pila ka bit ng imo. So, my laptop is 64-bit. So, I'm using this one. And, dasig ko. Sino nang naka-install? Tapos na? Or I have to wait for you guys?
Installing Japan.
Installing. Sige. Sumawa ka lang. Hindi si ma'am nyo kung ano lang diho. So, amo ni siya actually class, if you already installed, no, you will have this Anaconda Navigator. You can search this one in your installed application. So, Windows, you can search Anaconda Navigator. So, anong nami sa iya? Kahit siyempre, ang Anaconda mismo, this is really for data analysis, no? Okay. For the background, no, for data analytics, let's say, continue nilang ambalan yung class kung tapos na mo install. May istorya ko anay. Ang data analytics class, may ara siya descriptive analytics. Pagkatapos ang descriptive diagnostic analytics. Then we have descriptive analytics and prescriptive analytics. So let's say we have 4 types of analytics. Descriptive analytics is actually based on your historical data. So kung baga, i-describe mo lang. It will be used to describe. So basically, pwede ta nga mahambal nga ang level of libraries nga pwede mo gamiton is NumPy, Pandas, and Matplotlib. But if you are doing descriptive analytics in which you are going to describe predict, then you are going to use machine learning. And with machine learning, syempre magamit ka na sa mga scikit-learn. Kag ang isa pa to kaina for machine learning application. So that means to say, ang level of analytics nga kinahanglan mo gamiton class or depende sa data nga may ara ka. Then kung kataas ang level of analytics nga need mo i-apply, galain man ang gamiton nimo nga library. Okay? So kung prescriptive ka na, that means to say you're going to prescribe what is the now because you predict that this will happen or you describe that this happen. You are now going to prescribe what silingon na introduce ka sa solution or introduce ka sang something to say for example para masolusyonan mo ang gin-predict mo or gin-describe nimo nga let's say there is a problem. So basically no naga-change ang aton nga level of requirements sa analytics depende sa kung anong need naton. Okay, so so kung na-install niyo na class in your navigator, diri ka mo sa inyo halimbawa diri sa Windows, you can actually search, no? Makakita nyo dani ang Anaconda, no? Anaconda, 64-bit, Anaconda Navigator. This is, you're going to click, so Navigator, pakita niya si imo. Or, Anaconda Prompt, and Anaconda Jupyter Notebook. And this one, pwede nyo na mag-click direkta. Pero, pwede nyo man ma-click ini siya or pwede nyo man ma-on or ma-access ang Jupyter Notebook using the Anaconda Navigator. Okay? So as well, pwede nyo gamitin ang Anaconda prompt if maubra ka mo or ma-code ka mo sang or mag-create. Kumbaga, pwede ka mo ka-shortcut diri if you are not going to use the navigator. Okay? So, i-on natin ang Anaconda Navigator natin. Tapos na ko install. Okay, that's good. So, kung tapos na ka mo install, you open your Anaconda Navigator. Okay. So, sino nang naka-launch ang aton nga ano? Okay na to. Anaconda ta. Okay. So, this will be your Anaconda Navigator. So, kung makita ninyo, class, lain-lain, no, nga packages uninstall diri. So, we have Jupyter Lab. So, I don't know, wala pa ko gawa di ka nagagamit sa Jupyter Lab ngayon eh. But you can explore. Nakagamit ako, okay. Jupyter Notebook, RStudio also, no? Or pwede ka man class makagamit sang sang Visual or Visual Studio Code. This is also an editor, no? So, amo ni siya ang mga commonly nga ginagamit. So, kung wala na diri class, you can click here in the environment. Diri sa environment, diri mo makita kung ano ang mga installed packages already. So, say for example, magamit kita sa scikit-learn. No. So, scikit-learn already installed, no? And ano ang mga wala na install? So, these are the things wala na install. So, kung gamiton yun na, but silingon, you need to install. Okay? So, ari kita sa base or sa root. But we can create our own learning environment. Sorry, hindi learning environment. Virtual environment, no? We can create our own. Anyway, we'll introduce that later. So, para hindi na lang magkomplikado, danay. Okay, so amo na siya. And it will also allow you to, halimbawa, Python. So, si Python, na-install na ini siya and may version na siya. No? So, pwede ta ni siya actually, si Python, pwede na to ni siya ma-downgrade or ma-upgrade. Ari, no? Ang mga Python nga na-install diri mga versions. Okay. Okay. So, kung gusto nyo class nga magtuon pa, no, you can really go to learning, no? Kahit diri, click nyo lang ni, no? If you want to read more. For documentation or sa mga documentation, yabla. Sa community as well, no? You can also read. So, we are going to launch ang Jupyter Notebook, no? Kay amo ni siya ang aton niya gamiton. So, para hindi ka mo magrelingin ang ulo nyo, just focus on the packages or the libraries that I introduced para hindi sabog ang inyong paminsaron. Okay? So, ang actually, ang PyCharm ni professional, pwede nyo ni magamit kung mag-ano ka mo this is like an IDE, no? Or Integrated Development Environment. Like sa Java, we have NetBeans or Eclipse. Okay? So, damo, ari-ari editor man eh. Okay? But we are going to use Jupyter Notebook. So, Jupyter Notebook is a web-based interactive computing notebook environment. Edit and run human-readable docs while describing the data analysis. So, this is really for data analysis. So, that's why we will be using Jupyter Notebook. So, to open this one, let's just click launch. So, diin makita aton nga class nga Jupyter Notebook. Okay. So, diri siya, no? Localhost 888. So, amo ni siya ang aton nga i-type kung gusto naton nga direkta siya, no? But this will not run kung wala wala kita na-on nato ng navigator. Unless, i-on naton siya using ang command prompt, no? Nalipat na ko ni. Oh my G, nalipat na ko. Anyway, class, so, ayan, ko lang, hindi ko di kadumdum kung ano ang akon nga code. Pero pwede ka di makarun sa Jupyter Notebook if you're not going to open the Anaconda Navigator. Pero para na lang for easy na lang class, Anaconda Navigator na lang aton gamiton. You can search the command prompt nga classic the script to open the Jupyter Notebook. Nalipat tabi ka code. Okay, but anyway, you can try open Jupyter Notebook. No? Okay, so amo ni siya class ang aton nga Jupyter Notebook. Amo ni siya itsura niya lang. Okay? So, if we are masulod lang ko diri kay amo ni siya ang create ko ng folder for example sa mga aton nga obrahon. So, masulod ako diri anay. So, kung makita nyo class, this directory is just susunod din siya sang Acer. Sang Acer. sang akon to kaina gin-installan, no? Diri lang ko, diri ni siya nasulod sa akon yan. I don't know with you, kay kamo ang nag-install. So basically, ang akon nga ano is ang Anaconda 3 ko, diri. So amo ning directory ko kaina Acer lang, dayon diri ako ni-install. So if I have to create another project anywhere in this part, no, pwede ko create new folder. Okay, ako ning create ari ang data, ang IT124 data analytics. So I will be saving my notebook here. So diri sa sulod niya, kaya create ko ni siya. How to create? Syempre, new folder. Okay? Dira ang inyo nga maging directory. So, and this is my first, for example, my first program. I-open ko lang, no? Example ko lang ni siya. Okay. And, ari sa sulod. Really? To create a new file class, you have to, so for example, ari ka na dire, makreate ka sang bago. You have to click this new, then Python 3. So that means to say Python nga na-install sa aton nga Anaconda is Python version 3. And this is how the Jupyter Notebook will look like. Okay, so say for example, sample program. My first Python. Okay. So basically, no, diri na siya na makita. Tare. Mo ni siya. Ang gi-create ko bago lang. Para ikang gapon ko naging create eh. So I was just doing an example for my own resources. So paano mag-run class ang Jupyter Notebook? Control enter lang din siya class. So for example, ma-print lang biko, print Okay, so this syntax class is a syntax of Python, and this is, kung baga, this is how are you going to run the notebook. So control enter lang or ari. Okay. So how to add? This is one cell, no? To create another one, pwede nyo man ni siya actually pwede nyo ni siya ma-cut, no? X. Paano mag-create sang bago ari? Copy, sorry. Paste man ari gali, sorry. Okay? So, amo na siya on how you create. So, pero may shortcut ni siya, class, ha? Nalipat ko sa shortcut niya. Wala, sige, sa lima ko nalipat ko. Okay, so isa ni siya naton karan. So, buot silingon, if daw structured na ni siya nga halin sa baba, top to bottom, no? Kung i-control enter mo na, amo ni siya ang nagagawa. Mag-enter ka, it's cell. So, kung bagong load din na siya, class, buot silingon, kung ano, ano gusto mo nga i-run, nga maintindihan niya sa dalom, i-run mo each cell dapat. Okay? So, run. Okay? Sorry. Ari gali. So, i-run natin. So, code or pwede man dayon kita, class, kabutang ka mark ka ano ka sorry code. Pwede man kita diri ka obra actually sang ano no, pwede kita maka-insert sang heading, no? Ang purpose ng heading, class is say for example this is just an instruction. And paano kita mag-create? Do comment type number sign. So hindi na siya i-read as code, no? So, kay text lang siya. And, so, pwede natin i-create. Pwede mo kita ka, Sorry. So, gamito natin ang heading. Kung gusto natin mag-create ng comment. Okay. So, or we can actually put, halimbawa, mga new kita, tapos pwede lang kita maka-type direkta. Ay, natin ba? So, comment nila siya. So, pwede kita di gidya kahatag whole article. Ang pag-gusto kita di. Heading. So, basta hindi na siya ma-read as code. Okay? So, pwede na siya natin ma-create as comment. Okay, ano pa gid? So, pwede natin ini siya ma-download class, no? As Python document, no? Ari ang maaton nga pwede nga, Pero ang extension abis ang Jupyter Notebook class is IPYNB. Okay? So, mo ni siya iya nga extension. So, ma-open mo lang na siya kung sa Jupyter Notebook lang. And you can also create a new notebook. And pwede mo man ma-save, ma-make a copy. So, the text document siya. So, you have to explore this one to get familiarized. Pwede tadayon na siya ma-mark up and down. Pwede ta siya padalumon sa kaon. Kag pwede ta man siya i-cut. Okay? So basically, this is an example, no? So, ang ari naman niya is just an example of creating a visualization, no? Of getting the average pulse and calorie burnage. So, as you can see, we have to import pandas. Ang import pandas is actually para ma-manipulate natin iniho. Okay, ang data.csv. So this data.csv is actually, this is a text document or butang ko lang ganyan sa notepad. Okay? So itsura sa notepad naton class, amo lang niyo. So ging notepad ko ni siya gin copy gin paste dayon gin .csv ko lang, so it was converted into CSV file. So amo ni siyang hambal ko kaina nga ang pandas, it can represent the document in rows and columns. So sa Excel na ni siya daan. So let's say ang input natin is a CSV file which with this data like ano duration niya, average pulse niya, maximum pulse niya, calorie burnage, number of hours, and number of sleeps. So basically, this is a structured data, no? Structured data siya nga CSV file nga pwede natin i-load. So, but we need to call the pandas para ma-represent natin siya sa rows and columns. So without it, hindi niya na ma-process class, kaya hindi na siya niya mahambala ng Jupyter Notebook nga, hey, amo ni ang CSV file, amo ni siya ang data nga ga-represent, nga need mo i-interpret. So without this, hindi niya na kaya obrahon. Okay, so that's why you need to import the pandas. So, ano po silingon sini class? Kung na-install na naton ang pandas, oh yes, ang pandas, diri mismo sa aton ang Nakonda Navigator, gina-import ta lang. Okay? Wala kita mano-mano install pip pandas, pip install pandas. Nga muna siya bala. Kay, silingon i-install mo gid na siya halin sa, i-install mo gid sa command prompt. Pero kung may ara ka na nga sa navigator nimo, because ang pandas is already installed here, gina-import mo na lang siya. Okay? So, hindi mo kailangan mag-code diri nga sa imo nga pip install pandas, in which hindi niya na diri pwede maran hindi niya na pwede diri ma-install, diri niya na pwede i-install. Okay? So, diri niya na pwede i-install lang. So, wala ko kabalo kung ara. So, requirements already satisfied. Although nga naman, kay ara na siya sa aton anaconda mo. Okay? Subot silingon, hindi kadaran naton sining panda, we just have to import. We don't need to install. Okay, amo na siya ang kananion na sang anaconda prompt, sa anaconda navigator nato nga na-install. Hindi kita magaling sa puno, kaya mga library sa ara na. With the installation of anaconda, ang mga support niya nga mga packages na install naman. Okay, so I hope no, clear sa aton. Then amo man ang matplotlib, no? Gina-import lang siya naton kay ara na sa pandas sa anaconda ta. Amo man ang stats. So for this SciPy import stats and matplotlib. So matplotlib class, it make it happen here, no? Kung magagin ubraya ni it is possible to visualize because we have the matplotlib library. And of course, amo ni siya ang pag-obra naton, no? So with this one, we have to learn how to create the this visualization. So that is in our next topic. Okay? So mga next topic natin. For now, this is just kung baga teaser. Kahit example lang man sa pag-create sa Jupyter Notebook. Okay? So mo naging input natin. Full length data, health data that pd.read CSV. So if you're curious, class, this syntax is a Python syntax. Okay? And para sa area, iyan niya sang Jupyter, ang Matplotlib, syempre, ang foundation gyapon is ang Python programming. So kung gusto mo maintindihan nga nag-irinamon so we have to go understand the basics ng Python. So mapos ang Python class, it is just kumbaga the English language lang siya, wala siya damo kartihan. Okay? Okay, let's go back here. Kung gusto nyo gali class, nga updated ka mo sa mga updates and you can access the tutorial, you can enroll here in Anaconda Cloud that sign up or join Anaconda Nucleus dito man sa link nga ginano ko class, no? Nga gina-provide ko. Okay, because you can access to the tutorials. And why data science is so complicated, naman niya. Di kay kadamo-damo. But anyway, it's not complicated. So ang botchilingon niya na, it's not that complicated. We have different packages and libraries that will support for data manipulation. Like for example, no? This all packages is available in Anaconda Navigator. Anaconda distribution, so 1,000 of curated packages for analysis, visualization, and modeling. So ara na datanan. Kasi mga term mga Thiano, pandas, and mga ara na datanan. So all you have to do is to read or practice. Okay, Conda Package Manager, ato na to kaina, no? Install and remove update packages, automatically install dependencies, install package written in the language, no compiler needed to install packages, works for Mac, Linux, and Windows. So curate your own package, begin. Conda environment, so gin-open nyo na ito kay Anaconda Navigator. So think of them as separate Python installation. Packages can be installed, upgraded, downgraded using Anaconda, using Conda, or using pip. So usually, amo ni siya class ang limbawa Coda install. Lain lang ni galing ang script na ginagamit kung if you're going to mag-code kita sa Anaconda prompt to bala. Ang pip lain man. Okay? But basically, if you want to know, you can search sa Google. Ang tanan na class nga halimbawa NumPy, Pandas, scikit-learn, tanan na nga libraries, they have an equivalent code or script how to install nga magmano-mano install bala. Kahit yung ginobra ta, we don't install one by one. Kahit to'y ara na sa Anaconda Navigator or sa Anaconda platform naton, ara na siya tanan. That's why wala ta nag-install isa-isa sang aton nga mga packages. We just call or we just import them. Okay? Hello world. For those naman class na wala sila PC, wala sila laptop, ang alternative naman natin nga obrahon is we just search Google Colab. I-follow nyo ko ha.
Okay, ma'am.
Nga po na si ma'am nyo, kabalaan nyo kung ginatry ni ma'am nyo ang 1.5 hour nga na mo cover. Okay. Are, ano naman niya ang naman di sa Google Colab? It has its own Jupyter Notebook. No? Are, ano ni sa itsura niya. So, getting started. Ano lang ni ma'am nyo ha, a little bit of introduction kung anong purpose ang kwan. Hindi na ito man. Sorry. Gamit itong una-unang gid. Why? What is collaboratory? Collaboratory or collab is short, allows you to write and execute Python in your browser with zero configuration required, free access to GPU, and easy sharing. Okay. Buot silingon class, hindi yun na kinanglan sang wala ni siya kay di blambal ta kay na may arat na siya requirements, mo GPU requirements, graphic ganun ilipat ko sa GPU processing unit, graphic processing unit. Kaya sa adaan ang AI class. Halimbawa, kung nag-process ka halimbawa isang mga photos, taas ang imo GPU. Especially if your training data set is mga images. That's why it requires GPU, high GPU level. Kung usually, ang mga-PC natin, wala GPU, CPU lang. No? Kung mga basic lang ang aton. So, kung ganing laptop, wala GPU, CPU lang. So, probably different configuration ang gamiton natin. However, in this one, sa Google Collaboratory, hindi mo na siya kinanglan kay may ara na siya nga i-provide sa imo nga resources. Whether you are a student, data scientist, or AI researcher, Colab can make your work easier. So watch Introduction to Colab, learn more. Get started. Okay, hatag ko na lang sa inyo ang link. You can watch. Okay? Kung ano na about sa Google Colab. Hindi ka lang pag-i-watch kay 10:30 na. Probably you have the next class. So the document you are reading is not static web page, but an interactive environment called Google Colab Notebook that lets you write and execute code. Actually, class, this Colab Notebook, ang ginamin niya, this is actually a Jupyter Notebook. Okay? So, kay si Google, kay si Jupyter Notebook, at open source man ang Jupyter Notebook, so nag-partner sila. Okay? So, pwede ka gid ka embed. So, this example is actually, this is already a notebook. Okay, so nag-compute siya. To execute the code in above cell, select it and click and easier press the play button. So, actually, diri, pwede mo na i-click ang play. So, nag-run na ina siya. Or, control enter. Command control enter. Oh, sorry. Hara. So, Colab Notebook allow you to combine executable code, rich text. Amo to kay nang hambal ko black ras, rich text ini siya eh. Okay? So, you can really create a rich text or code. Pili ka lang diri oh. Dito gani ah. Pitak balo. Hari, text or code. Okay? So, add text. add code. Okay? So, amo ning ginahambali ma'am nito kay na. Sorry. You will have your own RAM and disk. Okay? So, kumbaga, diri sa PC mo, hindi kailangan na high performance sa imo laptop. Basta importante, okay, imo connection. I think that is the big deal here. Okay? And, Colab Notebook or Jupyter Notebook, as I've said, no, that are hosted by Colab. Okay? So, tunaan nyo lang. So, data science. With Colab, you can harness the full power of popular Python libraries, analyze visual data. The code will cell below uses NumPy to generate some random data and uses Matplotlib to visualize it. No? To edit the code, just click the cell and start editing. So, very, siya, so, import na natin na NumPy. And, maano lang kita sang Matplotlib. Then we can have already random number. Okay, this is a random number actually, no? Random number, 100 numbers. Okay, iyan ni ka nampay ng feature. Then we can have our PLT or Matplotlib to plot or visualize it. So, amo na siya ang sa data science siya application. So, machine learning, may ara man siya. So, kadamo lang, no? Pwede siya mag-import TensorFlow. TensorFlow, ang subong ang for text processing and image processing. So, TensorFlow ang pinaka-latest nga isa man ka ma-package. Okay? So, ayan. So, this is Google Colab. You can have file and create new. Wow, dugay. Done. Ang nami pa sa iya class, automatically save ini siya sa imo nga Google Drive. Or, pwede mo siya ma-upload direkta sa GitHub. Or save a copy in a drive. Okay. Paano mo ma-locate in a drive? Click mo locate in a drive kaya gin-automatic niya to butang kay ina. So usually ako class, I already create Colab notebook ko nga folder sa Google Drive ko. Kaya para dira lang masulod tanan. Okay? So when I create automatically, it is where located already. There. So pwede ko na i-rename na. So buot silingon, you can visit your Google Drive and you can click. And good thing also is you can share this code with me. Kaya may assignment ko sa inyo. What you're going to do is, if you are using Google Colab, right-click, get a link, or share mo sa akon because I will be requiring you to create your own simple programming with, of course, with a few instruction. Ngayon, i-share niyo na lang sa akon class ng ginobra nyo. Then I will just be clicking the link, then tagaan nyo ko permission para ma-check ko ang obra nyo. That will be your assignment, no? Assignment, wala ko na para natapos. May isa pa question ginug-add. So I will be uploading your assignment probably tonight or this afternoon. Manindahan pa ko by class after sa klase natin. So hindi ko pa natapos. So I still have 1 question to add. 3 questions. Okay. So that is for your Google Colab notebook. Okay. Any question? Nasig si ma'am nyo, no? I will be uploading. Actually, class, na-upload ko na nindrikta sa inyong these 2, tawag ni. Okay. Wala di. Wala, no? I-close ko. Okay. Wala. Na-upload ko na siya sa inyo class nga VLE. Okay? Ang duwa ka PowerPoint. Okay, you can download, you can read kung nasigid si ma'am ninyo. Okay? So, if you have no questions, class, I think ma'am directly namon send si imo wait lang. Imo Gmail ang amon assignment. No. I will be giving you an instruction via BLE. tapos dito nyo man na i-paste ang inyong nga link sa akon nga instruction. Same sa inyo assignment subong, you will be uploading a file sa VLE, but you will be pasting your answer man sa Word file. Okay, and you send sa akon directly because it will be hard for me to check one by one. Okay, so if you have no question, class, I may request everyone to please turn on the camera. Makakuha lang ko, class, for documentation purposes. Si ma'am nyo, hindi lang maon si ma'am nyo, ha. Wala pa kapag-usay si ma'am nyo, joke. Hindi si ma'am nyo. Nagmantay bata pa si ma'am nyo bago magklase. Okay, dahil lang naghang. Hindi siya ma-view tanan ka mo ba? Dahil lang, check ko lang class nga kung nga change layout ako. Full, 49. Ayan, perfect. Ano na ka mo? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Baka namin manigalitan kayo nasakop ko mo tanan si isa lang ka-grid. Ragmay na galing. Okay, so I think that's all for this morning. See you again next week. We'll have, I think, I will be uploading your assignment as well. Medyo madasig kita mag-lecture class because para madamo ma-cover natin. Okay, so if you have no question, you may leave the room. Have a nice day. So,
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.